Okay, that's it. We are live. Technical hitches out the way. Sun shining, beautiful day. And I think a lot of people will look back on this day, not because the sun was shining, and that's unusual in the UK, but feel like it's the birth, the start of something new. There's a lot of hard work gone in the background. I alluded to it then. Terry, Spencer, who's helped out, Lauren, who's not on the call, but is a lady who does design work for us. Craig Glazer helps out with a lot of stuff in the background, and this guy I'm going to introduce in a minute. This is a beautiful amalgamation that has led to this point. And I think what you're going to see, the essence of this document, it's a lot more than a document. It's a way of life, and I'm experiencing that the last couple of weeks, and I'm telling you, I'm living proof. And as Ben will share the story of these things work, and it's always the tiny little things that have an impact. And you might have seen Nicola Briggs today, you might have seen one or two other people that when you just switch focus with your mind instantly, when you break your state onto something else and focus on some positives rather than fixating on the negatives, because we all do that because we're humans. When you just pay attention to your body and your spirit and these other things, it can radically change the way you think and feel. And that's really what H3 is. But we're going to go into that in a little bit more detail. So I appreciate you guys with the patience over the last couple of weeks. We're there now, literally, the document we're printing in the next 24 to 48 hours, and then everyone's going to get a copy in the hand. So I'll give you more details on that later. Let me share a screen, some little slides here. So I think we're good. And just give you the background and the context of this. So there you go. I thought that was a perfect opening slide. It's the little disciplines that have the greatest impact. I was chatting to John Parry yesterday, actually, about the compound effect. And for those who've read The Slight Edge, it's the same principles. Let me tell you that you don't wake up one day and, that you've lost 30 pounds. You don't wake up one day and you're 30 pounds overweight. You don't wake up one day and you've accumulated wealth, unless you've won the lottery, and that's not going to happen. Everything you do is basically a result of the actions that you take every day or the actions that you didn't take. That's what the compound effect is. And I realized that a long time ago in life and in my business. And what you're seeing with the H3 is just a simple, very simple set of actions that can enrich your life in all areas that we'll talk about. So that opening slide speaks volumes. It's the little disciplines that have the greatest impact. And what I love about this, what you're going to see, is it's not complex. There's some of the research, some of the time, all the things that have been invested in the background have been at times, but it's been whittled down to such a simple formula that anyone can benefit from. So I want you to bear that in mind as we go through the presentation. Okay, so this guy, for those who don't know, and I know lots of you guys had the pleasure of meeting him in Greece, and always observing what's going on. And in Greece, the idea was to link people together, and some people were more forthcoming than others. But what I watched from Ben straight away, and he's only been around the business a few weeks, he went out of his way and spent time with pretty much every single person in Greece and created them relationships. And he did that, and he comes from an authentic place as well. So most of you guys are in Greece, you got to know Ben. If you haven't, the rest of you will get to know him. It's a powerful story, and things never happen by coincidence, and everything's just aligned. And, with Craig, knowing Ben from old, and then him bringing him to the business, and then Ben's story, which you're going to hear now. And it's led us to this point with this document and a start of a new phase in the business. So for those who don't know Ben, he's going to share in a minute, he turned his life from negative to positive. I had a little joke before, I said, I thought I was council estate, but when I look back, I'm almost like royal family compared to Ben, honestly. And I mean that in the nicest possible way, but he's fought against the odds, and a lot of people in those circumstances become a product of the environment, and he broke free, and he'll share that story soon. And when he did break free, he found a passion in personal training and nutrition and helping people. That's where he specializes, and you'll see that as you hear him talk, that his knowledge is in depth with all these areas, and he's been surrounded by some of the best mentors, some of the best trainers, some of the best scientists on the planet. Because of that led him to coach high-level athletes, including some Paralympians. So pretty amazing stuff, right? People who represented this country at the Paralympics. Ben's been involved in coaching those guys. And then because of what he went through previously, and he'll tell you the story, I don't want to steal his thunder, but then he just created some new disciplines. One of them disciplines was kickboxing, and then became the English kickboxing champion, which is no mean feat as well. So kudos to you for that, brother. On top of all like the nutrition and the helping people and the personal training, he's also worked in some big roles with sales. So he's got a high level of sales training. You're going to see that element as well. He's going to teach us some cool stuff. And he's also been involved with companies who are generating a lot of money. And beyond that, he's also surrounded himself with some of the top mentors on the planet. This picture actually was a couple of weeks ago, right, Ben? In fact, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, last Saturday.
Yeah, last Saturday in San Diego, and Ben was there again. Like, these guys who Ben's working with, these are changing how the game is run. From a content perspective, but from a marketing perspective as well. So he's heavily invested in himself and working with some of the best mentors and scientists on the planet. And ultimately, all that has led into, he just loves being around people. His passion is helping people and developing people. And those who are in Greece won't need me to tell them that, because if they've experienced it, they would have felt it themselves. So I know he's probably a bit uncomfortable with that introduction. But Ben, just want to say before we get into it, bro, been a pleasure, getting to know you the last few weeks, sharing the ideas, the excitement, the energy that we've created, and it's just led to this point now. So thank you for what you've done so far, what you've contributed, bro. And I think for those who don't know, they'd like to hear a little bit about you.
Wow, what more can I say? That's all I can add to this is, can you see me okay?
Yeah, good, mate.
You're definitely right, James. It's all about the right timing, and nothing happens with a coincidence. And me meeting you and you meeting me, it's definitely about to change the game, and it already has. But the vision that we've created already together is unmissable, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens in the next hour. So let's get into it.
Yeah. Do you want to share a little bit more of the detail of your background, bro?
Yeah, cool. So before we get into the mix of understanding the principles of the H3, let's understand exactly where it come from and how we found, or how these questions come about in my life, where I started to understand. I had a vision and I had a passion to go and try and find the answers, and this is where it pretty much comes from. So, it was a middle-aged, middle-class family. We grew up in the central of Manchester, a place called Longsight. Typical school, typical high school. Had a little bit of a bad time in high school. I had bent teeth, and my second name was Fanning. So with that above my head, I was always going to have an uphill battle. And so it started. I started to understand as an early teenager that my emotions could take over me. I used to be petrified of going to school because I was being bullied. I used to start at that young age, started to feel less about myself. And probably that's the earliest start of my life that I started really noticing that inside myself was a beast about to create it. So anyway, there was a time that physical violence got me out of this trouble, and at 13 years old, I realised that violence was the way to solve every problem I had in my life. So embarked the game of violence, right? Probably the biggest first game I had in terms of sedating with the issues that I had in life. So everything that would come in front of me in life there would deal with being aggressive or violent. And it was a time in my life where I really started to feel that I was starting to get power in my life, in terms of my life was in control of me, but how wrong I was about to be. So that led me into a crowd of more violence, or more violent people, a culture that was breaking the rules and going against everything that the system was trying to show us in terms of rules and regulations, from the governments all the way to my parents, all the way into high school, right? So I really started to take a real notice and a real commitment to living a lifestyle that led to the next 8 years of my life. So at an early age, I was in an environment, or become a product of an environment that was just related to drugs, that was related to violence, that was related to the blind leading the blind, and me being a sheep in an environment where all I can say for the next 4 years after that is that I've become very lucky in terms of what happened to me, So at about 17, 18, I was diagnosed with PTSD. So I was giving counselors counseling, or counselors were needing counseling for some of the stuff that was going down. But just to give you a recap, so people can relate to the pain that was going on at that time in my life, was when you're in so much pain as a kid, and the only thing that your mother's seeing is violence and corruption, is that the only thing she's going to do is then go to the doctors, right? And the only thing that the doctors could do was prescribe me Prozac at a very, very, very early age. So they told me I had a chemical imbalance, and Prozac was the only answer. So my mum being my mum and not knowing what else to do, you're going to lead by your mum's example. And I started taking Prozac at a very young age. I quickly learned that this stuff was making me like a zombie, right? If anyone else has ever took this antidepressants or anything like this. The only reason why I went there is because that's the only answer we had to the question. So as time gone on, this systematic sedation of being in an environment, so we're just spiraling out of control. I'm gonna, I spoke to you about this before. We had this chat before about what I wanted to say, and I just want to give you a little snippet of some of the pain that was going on in them years. I don't know if you remember, but Manchester really started blowing up with Manchester United. We had Oasis going through the roof, and gang culture really started taking real headlines in the news, where Manchester started being called Gunchester, right? And at that moment in my life, I was losing friends left, right, and centre. It was a product of the environment, and within a week, we'd lost a friend, and then we was at a funeral, and other gang rivals had come to the funeral, shot the funeral, and killed another friend. And what I'm trying to create in your minds is that this place is just chaotic, inside, outside. There's no safe sanctuary. Mum doesn't know what's really going on. Your mum thinks I'm not going to become. I mean, you can imagine it is just a war zone, and nobody else knows what to do except point the blame at each other and just carry on doing what we're doing. So it really was a manifestation of products of the environment, people's mindsets being diluted by things on the TV, being influenced by the music culture. Now I know that all these variables, if you can apply these same lessons to yourself, is that when you become a product of the environment, you can not see a way out. So at 25 years old, I get the biggest breakthrough in my life, and we go and 5 days before this happened, I bury a child. Me and my wife at the present and girlfriend at the time bury my child. 5 days later, I'm sat in jail, right? I'm sat in jail like, what is going on? What is going on? I mean, this is a place that was so dark, is that I think where people can relate to the most is that this way you start seeing some real light if you start asking the right questions. And this was a real breaking point for me, because I started to understand that all the pain, which we just touched on a very little, all the sedation, all the mindset, all my behaviours, all my attributes, all my morals and respect that I thought was an external environment was actually an internal process from the external environment. I'm not getting too scientific there, but the breakthrough was that inside the prison, my pain 10x all over sat in a cell. Let's take that in for a minute. So everything that's going on, all this culture, everything that's going on, these blood, sweat and tears, these sex, drugs and rock and roll, there's no way out. The only options that we've got is people telling you to think positive and take tablets and take pharmaceuticals. I end up inside a prison cell and the pain 10x. So I think at that time, with that type of mindset and that type of time when you're on, you start asking yourself questions, right? One of the questions was, if it's not that making me feel the pain, or if it's not making me feel this way, what is? And I quickly realized it was me, and it was my mindset, it was my state. So the state of mind from the products and environments of my capacity that I created at that time in my life was creating an internal storm that created a systematic sedation of, if you can't go find answers, you will make answers. And that quickly ended up in the drug game. So the only drug I think I've not been addicted to, or I know that I've not been addicted to, is crack and heroin. And that was at that time. So luckily, we get out of jail, and I get the biggest breakthrough in my life, where I get to start. I got a work habilitation program to go and work for a gym. Now I'm 17 stone at this time. I'm obese, as they would say. I'm clinically obese. I'm very aggressive. I'm asking the right questions, but I definitely haven't got the right answers. But I had this little light inside me that was saying, if you want to fix yourself, only you are going to fix yourself. It is only you that can do this. No one is going to come and save you. And I think that was a bit of defiance and ego at the same time. But by God, it was the biggest voice I've heard that made me start taking action towards making my life an improved and a life I really wanted, a life I really desired. At this point, I was just following my intuition, right? So this job comes along and you say, right, you can have this job. I look at my girlfriend, my wife now, and I say to her, like, there's no way I'm going to work for these. I've never had a job in my life. I'm 17 stone. What am I going to do working in a gym? I mean, where am I going with this? But that little bit of choice, a little bit of light in the dark was like, you got to go ahead with this. And it was actually accountability to my wife, because she was looking at me like, you just got to change something. You know, you're going to be dead or you're going to end up life in jail. I was like, well, I'm just gonna do it for you, which you're gonna see the power of accountability in a minute. I'm gonna have to do it for you, or else I'm gonna lose you, right? So, I mean, within 3 weeks, I realized that exercise makes you feel better, and I was just gobsmacked. I was just like, I've been looking this feeling my whole life, right? And I've just got this from breaking out a little sweat, and I was forced into these backgrounds. I was forced into these decisions with a little bit of choice, and then the game of addiction come to try and make myself feel better. So the game starts to begin one step by one step. You know, no doubt we all know about getting things wrong, stepping outside the comfort zone, uncertainty, procrastination, overwhelm. And I'm having to rebirth myself inside a framework and a belief that I believe that everybody outside criminal activity were different. You know, you're all out to get me. You're all out to destroy me. You judge us. You think we're scum. You know, this whole stereotype language that comes with being a criminal and civilians, you know, looking at criminals. And this is still true, right? This is still out there to this day. It's still people judge. And really, if we're judging people, the most we're judging is ourselves. So I'm about 12 months into this contract. I'm starting to get breakthroughs. I'm starting to get new friendships. I'm starting to get new ideas. I'm starting to create a new environment, which starts to create a new capacity, which starts to create a new way of thinking. Simple steps, new solutions, new problems, simple steps, new solutions. And this consistency of not trying to just better my life, but trying to make me feel better, starts leading towards other doors, right? So these doors start opening when I start to realize that as I start to finish my college and become MVQ3 qualified, that they tell me I'm kinesthetic. So I'm starting to see, you know, words going against the things that I thought were stupid or was fake, and I was starting getting new relationships with these guys, and they were seeing the potential, and people were starting to give me new doors and new opportunities, and I just grabbed that with both hands, right? And committed to it. I was just like, I've got to feel better. I've got to stay committed to this. This is me. This is where things are happening. But I'm coming back to a place like inside my home, around my friends, and they just ain't getting it. So then a new battle starts to begin, because I have this good cop, bad cop side inside of me, right? I'm coming back to the place of environment that I've been 27 years in the making. I'm starting to create this new birth inside myself, and I don't know who's turning up. I'm trying to be this old guy in the street because I'm trying to protect myself and my family. I'm trying to be this new guy in gyms because this is a new way of being. It's starting to mixing up, and I started to be like the seven mask of emotion. I'm starting to be like Donnie Brasco. Didn't know who I was. But this time, I'm starting to invest my money and time behind the scenes into world-class coaches. And one of the first things I invested in terms of understanding the next game was nutrition. And, you know, a big shout out to Phil Richards, one of the world leading nutritionists. And this guy absolutely opened up doors. I mean, if it wasn't for him, we probably wouldn't be on this conversation. But again, if it wasn't going for jail or what we've had, you know, hopefully we're gonna show the power of everybody's story as time goes on. So as time goes on into the nutrition game, I start realizing that most of these things that I was feeling was a chemical, biological, physiological. I mean, it all starts to change a little bit, where I start to be able to reference that this ain't just me, that there's stuff going on behind the doors, right? Vitamin deficiencies, mineral deficiencies, products of environment, dehydration, the stuff that we listen to, the stuff that we watch, the stuff that we believe, the thoughts that we believe, were all contributing to disease. Or not only to disease, but this manifestation of what right about then was we were starting to in the term of mental health. That's where I started really understanding what was going on. So at this time, again, a new game starts to happen where these new insights, because if you grow capacity, a load of new problems start to create, right? And this is probably where things go really spiral out of control, because I started to sedate real bad. I started to sedate in cannabis. I started to sedate in cocaine. I started to sedate in alcohol. I started to sedate a little bit back in violence, in guilt, in shame, in depression, in anxiety. And I could see all these traits, all these mindsets, all these beliefs, all these stories starting to create again. And I got real dark, real dark. I mean, to the point where now I've made this image that everything's all right. I'm leading people in the fitness industry. I'm leading people in mental health. I'm leading Paralympians and athletes. And behind the scenes, I'm smiling. And inside, I'm just crippling to my knees. I can't come clean with the wife. I'm starting to disconnect with the kids. And, you know, Lord and behold, what else did I start doing? I started to sedate in business. I'm all about business, which I'm sure men can relate to, and women, don't get me wrong. But the game of sedation is real, ladies and gentlemen, and whatever it is, in terms of highlighting that and being brutally honest and truthful, it's cool. It's all part of the plan. It's all part of the progression. So at this point, I go searching again for new answers. So at this point, I'm highly qualified in nutrition. I'm highly qualified in strength and conditioning. I'm training some pro athletes in the world. And, you know, like you said before, my mission and my passion was helping people. I've made a real culture. And I hear another guy speak. He was a multi-millionaire who built absolute empires, and the same thing had happened to him. He was probably one of the first men that spoke up, right? So again, the new game of understanding new information, new skills, new techniques, new knowledge, and applying them to my life has brought us to a stage in my life that I was doing okay. I started really using the fundamentals. I started getting some big results, but these demons were still knocking at the door. And I soon realized that you're never going to be able to get rid of this energy, right? Because it's the same energy. And it's the framework that we look up beside this energy from the capacity of the internal, external forces that we have in life. So, i.e. experiences. You know, do I have one bad argument to spiral out of control? Do I have a good conversation and a growing capacity? Or whatever this game was starting to do. But what I started to realize is that if I wasn't consistent with this game, I was never going to be safe. And this now is not going to be a theory that I sell. This is going to be a lifestyle that I live. That if I want to truly inspire and help people going away from systematic sedation, the lifestyles that we're living and the beliefs and the stories that we're creating inside ourselves, I'm going to have to live by example if I'm going to have a cat and L in saving my life, and not only mine, my family's, and then from my family's into the environment and people that I want to touch with these type of messages, right? So just coming to the end of this now is that there's a timing in this place that I'm doing quite well for myself. I've got 2 businesses. We're doing 6 figures in both companies. I end up out in the States selling oil investment, running their marketing, learning a lot from these guys. And again, we started to see the same environment start. There was high-end business in both male and females, but as soon as that phone went down and that office shut, the game of sedation come again, right? So the environment that was starting to create again was that I was becoming a product of the environment. And not only am I trying to live this lifestyle, I did the disciplines that are around me, and the environments are giving me a quick course to action and getting involved in that story. So you can see how infectious of having the right people and having the right, not just the right people, but the right environment, the right knowledge, the things that we watch, the things that we speak, the things that we hear, all contribute to you having the capacity that you can grow a life that you really desire, right? That is fact. I'm sure people are just having a minute there to say, you know, they can relate to that so much. And then I come back from the States, and I have another friend that commits suicide, which was a male, unfortunately. I have a bit of situation with my daughter that I didn't see her for 12 months in terms of her mum's state and their mental health. And then me and Craig have a talk, and we're batting against each other. And Craig goes, you know, I need you to meet James. And me and James met, and we hit it off straight away, right? It's like I was his missing piece, he was my missing piece. And we started batting off things against each other. He had a couple of issues, I had a couple of issues, and we started, you know, we got into this game for the travel, right? I'm looking for a way out, I'm looking for residual income. And we quickly realised that together we've actually found something that works in terms of we're living this lifestyle. And then Solar Birth for the H3 comes, and the H3 is the first couple of principles in an armory that we have now, not only in helping people in all type of mental states or all types of disease or all, you know, the whole 9 yards. We have an absolute armory ready for people to access as we start to grow, me and you, James, not only as a company but in friendship and the environment that we're going to create. But it all starts with simple steps. So what me and James has done is stripped it right back. You know, people want to build big businesses. They want a better a better function with themselves, a healthier, happier mindset, more present with the kids, a better relationship with the wife, which all contributes to who you are as an individual and how you can deal with situations. But if you can't build your capacity in terms of the king and queen eating the king or the queen eating first, this type of pressure of business or this type of pressure in family or health or mindset, if you don't get all these accounts right and invest in all accounts, you know, this empire that you're wanting to build is just going to crumble because you don't set the foundation straight. Now, you might go through the 6 principles or the 7 principles very quick, and that's great. You know, we want you to progress, and there's always going to be more time goes on. But we realize, even as a marketing tool, and what you're going to do in terms of going ahead with this, when we show you the sales and marketing side of this, is that the power of you accessing a life that you truly desire and want has got nothing to do with me. It's got nothing to do with James. It's got everything to do with the ability of what you're willing to invest in yourself.
Powerful stuff, bro. Appreciate you sharing, man. And it was important, I think, for Ben. You know, like, we had a chat before this, and it was like, what do I share with the story? And I was like, bro, just share it, you know, because his transformation from his darkness to his light. I think even though people have come from different backgrounds and different circumstances, everyone can relate on a journey from darkness to light. And I think our business is about that, is that you never know the power of your testimonial and how it will set someone else free. So it's always hard, and it probably wasn't easy for Ben then to share that stuff, but people can relate, because in Greece we had people who weren't willing to open, and by the end when they opened, they realised that all they got was love and connection. And I'm sure that's probably just what's happened with Ben. In fact, I know it is, because I was getting messages of people while he was talking saying, I love this guy. So I appreciate you sharing, bro. And it's crazy how his circumstances, and, you know, for me, it led me to this point. And the last couple of years seemingly have been good for me, because if you look at a Porsche, Rolex watch in the house, you're going to judge that I'm good, right? But internally in the last year or two, probably not. No, and we call it, and we're going to learn a little bit more of this. Like I said, Ben's got some phenomenal systems and strategies and language that he's going to teach you. We call it the drift. Ever relate to the drift, where you kind of you're just in this place where you're searching for answers? And Ben's been through that multiple times, and you guys have a known. But you know what? When you understand what the drift is, when you're in it next time, it's a beautiful place, because you can get these insights and these lessons that you can grow as a person. And that's where I was. And as I come out my own little drift, life was good, as in financially, some elements. And like we were talking about, some banks can be busy, you know what I mean? Some banks can be full, the financial one and the business one, but other areas of my life weren't up to speed. And when you've got this imbalance, it always catches up with you. But then me just stepping onto that journey, and then meeting Ben, realizing there's some consistencies, there's parallels with our story, but there's also consistencies of what we do. And then all of a sudden, it was like brainwave after brainwave, and you know, it led us to the H3, which we're going to go into now. But just before we do, just think about this. Ben was talking about his situation. I've just relayed a couple of points about mine, but this isn't isolated. I mean, look at this. These are some snippets I cut from the press. British people rank as among the most depressed people in the Western world. Lonely millennials, twice as likely. What does that say? It's going to be twice as likely to experience depression. Apparently, our millennials, in a recent study, are the most second depressed on the planet. We live in a first world country, right? It's crazy. Take away Britain, we're spending up to $7 billion annually. Unhealthy Britain, that people don't even walk, the majority of people, less than a mile a day. Obesity putting a strain on the NHS. So these are serious problems that are out there, and there's an epidemic in more senses than one. If you want to look at it, it's health, happiness, disconnection with people, and people are struggling. And like Ben alluded to before, they don't have the answers. They don't have role models. They don't have people who can give them tools and support. And I think when you do that for people, like what happened to Ben, look, when he was in the right environment, look, when the right people supported him and shown him the way, then he flourished. Conversely, when he wasn't, look what happened. So this is why we got really passionate about this, because some of you might just see this as a little booklet of some little things that start the day. But let me tell you how this game works. One thing leads to another. So when Ben was growing in capacity, one discipline led to the next. When it unfolded, one neglect led to the next neglect. That's how it works. So this is what you're going to see now is so much more than what it is. It's powerful as it is in its purest form, but it's so much more. So knowing all this, knowing Ben's story, all the conversations we got deep, all the stuff. I've been non-stop the last few weeks, reading, researching, toing and froing, and living this life. And I'm telling you now, if you've not read The Compound Effects or The Slight Edge, understand that it's the small, seemingly insignificant steps completed consistently over time that will create a radical difference. There is no magic pill where you wake up in the morning and everything changes. It's the incremental little steps and knowing them principles coming from the background that we came from. It led to this very plan, the H3 plan. And it was just crazy as we were talking. You know, I went through these phases where at some point I'd done some of these things sporadically, or if I was a little bit stressed, I might do a bit of gratitude to try and change that state, or I concentrate at some point in my life on a little bit more of physical activity, but I'd never really got them all in sync and done them consistently. And that's actually where the magic happens. So I guarantee that everyone on this call has done some of these fundamentals, if not all of them at some point. But I also guarantee that pretty much everyone hasn't done them all together consistently over a period of time. And that's where the magic lies. So that's the story of the H3 and how we got to that point. Ben, have you got anything to add to that?
No, I think you're hitting the nail on the head. But just in case we do forget it, I was going to put it at the end. But like you were saying, when people are vulnerable, we spoke about this today, we can switch that framework completely in terms of being vulnerable. Because when you're vulnerable, it's such a beautiful place, if you want to look at it like that, because you start searching for new answers. So the analogy that we've used this before, James, is when a lobster gets so big, it gets too big for its shell and the shell gets too big, it will rid its shell, become vulnerable, get under a rock until the shell hardens, come back out, it's on bigger fish. Or, well, whatever, it's on bigger food, it's on bigger capacity, it's on bigger results, it's on bigger goals, it's searching bigger parts of the ocean. Will you see that about yourself? Every time we get the drift, which we call the vulnerability bit, we're looking at the drift of, okay, this is an alarm bell now. We must have grown in capacity. We've grown in business. We might have grown in relationships. We might have grown in health. We might have grown in mindset. We might have grown in experience. All them combined together is always, every time you grow, there's always going to be a drift. So I'm just trying to say, you know, some of the people I know we're all suffering inside, you know, somewhere, somehow, all of us are suffering some way. We now love this adversity, right, James? We actually welcome it on because we just realise that we need a solution to this problem. And that's the type of culture, that's the type of mindset that we're trying to create in this game now. With going forward with the H3, that it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to feel this. And when we've now got some tools to break through it, and it's definitely away from pharmaceuticals and sedating in Facebook, you know? We've got new ways of accessing this. But this game plan is not just going to help you, it's going to change your life, but it's going to improve your capacity, which then you're going to hit another game of vulnerability, right? So every time we get this vulnerability, it just means that we're morphing. It just means that you're growing in capacity. So welcome it on, you know, get excited because the tools are coming.
Yeah, powerful stuff. Thanks, bro. Right, I'm going to plow through these so we can get into some other stuff. So we touched on some of these with you guys, and some of you are aware of it. These are the 7 fundamentals. And I'm just going to give you the background. This is not, we didn't invent these things. We just learned through experience or scientific research that these things have a profound effect on people. So the first one, for example, you've noticed it today. I bet most people on this call, I bet their energy was through the roof. And they can't think why. Well, I guarantee you, when the sun comes out in the UK, the energy's through the roof. And the reason being is most people are vitamin D deficient. So over 1 billion people worldwide. It has so many negative connotations. But specifically in this area, what we're focusing on is that it has links to depression and it really affects mood. So now that you know that every chance you get yourself in some fresh air and sunlight. And it doesn't have to be sunny to expose yourself to blue light. So nothing grows without sunlight. It's the essence of nature, and you know that to be true. So if we start our fundamentals in the morning, very first thing we do is we expose ourselves to sunlight. You might not live near a big open field or something like that, but you can get in the garden when you wake up straight away. Versus, are you ready for this one? Versus hiding from the sun. What are people doing? Pulling the covers over the head, the very thing that's going to energize you. So sunlight, if you're in the sun, I guarantee you in the first 20 minutes in the morning, it's going to energize you. So that's the first fundamental, a basic one, but proven by science. People feel better in the sun, so sunlight. Anything on that, Ben?
Yeah, that's a great point. In the darker the skin, the more likely you are to be vitamin D deficient. But the main reason, or the reason why we're using this first thing in the morning, it's not just so much sunlight direct, it's just direct light onto the eyes and onto the skin for something we call the circadian rhythm, which is your body clock. So you just try to naturally wake up the body, because we're supposed to go to sleep under the stars and wake up under the sun, right? So if you've got kids as well, just open up the curtains before you wake them up, let the light hit them, let the cortisol levels raise, let the blood pressure raise, and just let them wake up naturally, because this is another reason why we start the day so sedated in terms of low energy, and we go for that caffeine, right? So yeah, vitamin D, definitely get in the sun. But as soon as you wake up, you want daylight on you as soon as possible, especially on your eyes and especially on the skin.
Perfect. So number one, sunlight. The next one is hydration. Listen, I like a coffee like the next person, promise you. But what we're saying with hydration now is most people, especially been sleeping, you know, obviously through the night, you're dehydrated, you're waking up. And some people are like, water, I don't even drink that. And this is a problem. We're not saying don't have your coffee. We're saying hydrate yourself before you have your coffee. Why? There's multiple, endless benefits to hydration, and there's negative connotations to dehydration, but the brain is essentially about 80% water. So dehydration affects many things, including energy generation and mood in the brain. So just think, if people are struggling a little bit, you know, feeling probably a little bit low, and then all of a sudden, you know, if they're not exposing themselves to natural sunlight, if they are a bit dehydrated, that's going to have a huge impact on them. And look, not all water is made equal. We know that. We've got a purity bottle, and UK tap water contains over 300 toxins. So it's important as we spread this message to people that we have an opportunity to share some of our products as well, because like I said, you know, you can drink tap water today and it ain't going to kill you tomorrow. But for optimal health, then you want to make sure that you drink some clean, filtered water. And beyond that, what we've done, add a few little bits to it. This is through Ben's research and things that I've learned as well. And some of you guys will know this to be true already. Add a slice of lemon water as well. And if you want to take it to the next level, which I've been doing and Ben's been doing, you can mineralize it as well. Just a little pinch of Himalayan rock salt or some sea salt, which are really rich in minerals as well, and that helps you mineralize the water. So hydration is another thing that people are struggling with, and then just by creating that habit first thing in the morning, it sets you up for the day. Anything on that, Ben?
No, that's great. I think you're going to get the importance of hydration when you look up in the booklet, but in terms of creating energy and waking up the organs, especially, you know, your skin being your biggest organ, this is so vital when it makes sense that we're 70% water, right? 60 to 70% water, it makes sense that we have a nice glass of water to start the day.
Absolutely. And these are so basic that people can't believe they'll have an impact, but I guarantee they're not doing it. It's only when you focus on it, right, you really start to see. So sunlight, movement, you get up. Sunlight, hydration. The next thing is movement. And, I'm not talking like a Spartan race or anything like that. You're going to go to the gym, some of you guys, you've got your routines. I'm talking within the first 20 minutes, you're hydrated, you're sunlight, and you're just going to move, whether it's chasing the kids around the house, whether it's just walking around in the garden. My thing is I get up, I've got sleep in my eyes, I'm out in that garden, I've got a favourite audio that I can share with you guys. And the first thing I'm doing, I'm not scrolling on Facebook, negativity, comparison. I'm not just sat there sedentary and walking around the garden, energized, hydrated, and with sun on my skin. So just think about those three things versus not doing those three things and the impact it would have. And listen, there's endless studies on movement and the benefits for it. And again, lots related to your mental health as well. Anything on that, Ben?
Yeah, you've made it simple enough. So simply, the daylight is going to wake you up. Hydration is going to wake up the organs, and a little bit of light movement is just going to stem some blood flow. And this is really cognitively, physically, mentally just going to go, hello, we're awake, right? Times or versus waking up in the morning, curtains are shut. The only light that we see is that phone light. We go straight on Facebook or check emails. The kids are doing our reading instead of playing with them. The wife's, whatever, I'm trying to create a framework, and then the first thing we get is coffee, right? I mean, it's pretty controversial. If we're not setting up in the morning, right, shit's going to go sideways.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just going to power through these, bro, now as well, because we've got other things to get on. If you want any, just chip in at any time as I'm going through the last few before we get into the other stuff. Feel free, yeah. So Moa's an important part of this, and I know most of us take this, but in relation to how we feel and our energy, most people are nutrient deficient. That you don't need any studies to know that. So we now have an award-winning superfood drink, 36 superfoods, nutrient-dense, cultivated from around the world. There's not a person who won't benefit from that. And each superfood has its own powerful properties. So it's the wide spectrum what makes Moa so powerful. And the thing is, I was talking to Tom Jackson today, actually. Did you know about the BioPerine? For those who don't know, BioPerine is a black pepper extract in Moa. It helps in nutrient absorption. So not just with Moa, anything that you're eating, it helps you absorb more of that good stuff. It's worth the fee alone just for that one ingredient. But also with BioPerine, it's proven by science to help with mood. And there's other superfoods in there that help with that. Lion's mane is another one. So if we're talking about energy, health, and your overall mental health and mood, then Moa has ingredients in there that are proven to help with that. Okay, gratitude. And we've all been there, and it's like, you know, done the bits of gratitude. Oh, I'm grateful, but not really, you know, not really living it, not really believing it, not putting down on paper what I feel in my heart. And let me tell you, gratitude. Think about this. Think about someone who you know who's in a bad place, who's spiraling, who's focusing on negative things, right? Because that's what you do when you wake up in the morning. A lot of people are fixating on what's wrong rather than what's focusing on what's right. And you just see that subtle difference is going to set you off on two different paths. Scientists have shown that a one-time act of practicing gratitude increase happiness by 10%. In some cases, a reduction in depressive symptoms by 35%. But it compounds. Let me tell you, every single day. So part of this booklet is just writing 3 things that you're grateful for. And it's not enough to just think it, take it out of your mind and put it on paper. Because you know when you don't feel like it, that's the very time you need to do it. You need to force your brain to move away from these negative, 50,000 thoughts every single day. And the majority of them are negative. Your brain is wired for survival, not for happiness. So with practice and intention, you have to steer it away from that. And you do that with something called gratitude. Grateful people are happier. They have more energy. They have better relationships. So if you're not doing it every day, now's the time to start doing that. And we've created a simple framework that you can do that. Grateful people. And in simple terms, it's this. Focusing on what's right instead of fixating on what's wrong. I promise you. And Nicola did a little post today, Nicola Briggs, and she's been, you know, suffering the last couple of weeks. We had a chat. Just got to focus on some of the right things. And when you do that, guess what happens? Your energy rises. And you buy a red car. Do you know what you notice? Oh, there's loads of other red cars. Oh, no, the red cars have always been there. But the way the brain works and what focuses on, what you focus on expands. So gratitude is a powerful, powerful thing. Anything on that, Ben?
And that is probably the one of the most biggest tools in changing your game, in terms of changing my game, because we're so naturally built to see negativity, and it's just a way to protect us, right? Yeah. So, like we say, you laugh at the one where I said if we didn't have that trait first, back in the day, if a big lion run round the corner, we'd go over and hug it rather than run away. So the fight or flight system kicks in. So it's not only just great for you, it's a great way to hack the process of forcing your way to be happy, right? So it's just a good way to train the brain. So if you're going in the gym and you want to lift 100, you're going to have to start at 10s. This is the key skill. So master this. If anything you take away from this, get on that gratitude.
Absolutely, every single day. And then your energy starts to radiate to other people. And when you're grateful, it enriches everything around you. Execution. Listen to this. 3 simple tasks. So it doesn't matter if you're a high-powered businesswoman or you're a stay-at-home dad, whatever it is, every single person can write on this list, and I'm going to show you the booklet soon, is that 3 tasks. Here's why. Firstly, it gives you clarity and to focus on what's important, because in this chaotic world that people and things are going to drag you all over the place, focus on just 3 things. You might need to do more, but 3 things. Listen to this, what happens in the brain. Doing what you said you was going to do will create self-confidence and self-worth. Here's what happens. Most of you guys come to me, and if you're struggling a little bit and you're procrastinating, here's what happens. You say you're going to do something and you don't follow through. Your self-worth plummets. You don't like yourself. And that spirals, right? Just like we talked about. But conversely, once you start to do the things you said you were going to do, guess what? Your energy and your self-confidence rises. So you can just hack this little thing. You can create this energy and you can create this surge of dopamine just by saying you're going to do something, these 3 little tasks, and you do it by the end of the day. So execution is the next thing. 3 little things. Do what you said you was going to do, and it'll create a chemical response in the body. I cannot tell you how important that is. You just look at these seemingly small things, but they create big results. Okay, reflection. So this is the end of the day. And again, we're kind of the same mindset. You ask yourself great questions and you get great answers. What was great about today? When was the last time you guys asked yourself what was great about today? Do you know what happens when you ask a great question? You get a great answer. You start to think, well, do you know what, actually? It was great. I had a catch up with Craig, or, you know, I did this. I went for some food there. And again, your mind starts to pour out what was great about today and the reflection. And then that starts to manifest more great things. Then it reinforces the feeling of gratitude. I'm grateful for this stuff. So you started your day with gratitude and you're ending your day with gratitude via some reflection. And it helps you to grow in capacity, is what Ben talked about before. Because sometimes it's like, hey, what was great about today? You might not think it was great at the time. It might have been painful, right? It might have been a situation. But what's great about it is, no, do you know what? That was uncomfortable, but I did it. You know, I didn't want to do a Facebook Live, but I did it, and now I feel better. So reflection is a powerful tool if you're going to develop in this life. Anything on that, Ben?
No, not at all.
Perfect. So this is the big one, and this has been big thing. And you know, if I'm honest, I've talked about this before, but I'm really living it and breathing it. Not really knowing them. You know, I've gone through the motions sometimes, but ultimately, Ben, I hope you don't mind me saying this, I'm going to say it anyway. He pays a lot of money to coaches, and they have a lot of skills, but ultimately, what he's paying for is accountability to these high-level people. And I'll tell you why. What I realized a long time ago is this: accountability accelerates your performance. The American Society of Training and Development found that the probability of completing a goal, you have an idea or a goal, 10%. It's just an idea, right? People have ideas all the time. It doesn't mean anything. You consciously decide you will do it. That now increase your percentage of completing that by 25%. You decide when you will do it. So now you decide you're going to do it, but you decide when you're going to do it as well. You now have a 40% chance of attaining that goal. You plan how you're going to do it, so you get into the intricacies. If you commit to someone, you'll do it, 65% chance. If you have a specific accountability appointment with a specific person you have committed to, 95% of the time. Now that you know that, you'll see how accountability underpins this, how it underpins everything. That literally, when you say it out loud, when you're accountable to someone, then it forces you to move in the direction of that chosen goal, because no one likes to say it out loud. I didn't achieve my goals. I've been accountable to someone. It's been time framed, and I don't want to let that person down, or I don't want to let myself down. So accountability is key, right, Beth?
Yeah, if I didn't have that accountability to me girlfriend or wife at the time, I probably wouldn't be here. I made it accountable. I go and do that. You know, I'm going to go and work in this gym, and my new life starts to appear in front of me, all from the baseline of accountability to a lady that I'm going to try and change her life.
Absolutely. So the thing is, and I've realised this, write this down if you've got a pen and paper, and hopefully you have. Humans left to their own devices procrastinate. Here's what you do: you rationalise. Hey, I'm going to do this today. And then your brain will go, well, I'll tell you what, you don't really need to do it today. Why don't you just do it tomorrow? Because your brain will steal your dreams. So with the accountability thing, is really important to keep you on track and help you stay focused on the things that matter. So can't reiterate it enough. Think about how you can bring that into your life, in the business, in all areas of your life. And with H3, we're going to set you off on that right path, because we're going to show how you can be accountable to this booklet and this community. So who can benefit from H3? We talked about that. You've heard some of Ben's story. So many of you guys would have been along the same path, and he changed his life by creating some little disciplines. He became healthier, happier. He surrounded himself with better people. He focused on his nutrition. So the thing is, with H3, now you know what you know, who can benefit from those 7 fundamentals? And by the way, they take 20 minutes in the morning. It's not a 3-hour thing. This is for you before the kids get up, before you have to go to work, before everyone tries sucking your energy and taking your time. 20 minutes for you. And if someone says to me, James, I haven't got 20 minutes, then you're not in enough pain. You're not ready to take your life to the next level. If you can't get up 20 minutes earlier, then leave this call. The H3 is not for you. You're just drifting. You're just settling. You've gone to live on the island of mediocrity, and you don't deserve to develop. So it's a 20-minute thing, simplicity that anyone can do. So who can benefit from this? Who do you know who gets stressed, struggles with procrastination, lacks focus, has self-doubt, regular feelings of unhappiness, lacks structure, lacks discipline, low energy, focuses on the negative? Who could do with improving their health? Who wants to improve themselves? All great questions, but a better question than that is, who wouldn't benefit from H3? We've just touched on it, whether it's health, whether it's energy, whether it's happiness, whether it's creating new disciplines, whether it's focus, whether it's task, whether it's accountability. All these things together, seemingly small, they come together and they give you this, Ben calls it the best, it's this puncture repair kit. It gives you this sat-nav, this guidance into a new way of life. And I'm telling you, for those who have the discipline to see it through, and it doesn't take a lot. Once you do this H3 for the 60 days, I promise you, some of you guys will never look back. You'll never go back to old disciplines. You'll never go back to neglecting your health or neglecting your happiness or putting yourself second. That's what this document really is. It's a catalyst for self-improvement and self-love. So the benefits to your business we're talking about, I'm going to show you the document in a minute, relevant in the current climate. Listen, what Ben's just talked about, share this story, what other people are sharing. Who do you know who's unhappy? Who do you know who could do with more energy? Who do you know who could be doing healthier? It's everywhere. It's an epidemic. So this document is relevant. Supports 1262. It's a system generated by Team Commando, and obviously Chris Travis has done some training by it as well. It's phenomenal. If you get 12 bottles of mower, convert 6 into preferred customers, 2 into reps. Well, guess what? Now your 12 bottles of mower can come with 12 booklets, right? And you can lead with a booklet instead of just the mower. Lead with huge value up front. Give people a system and a strategy to get results. And the mower is just a piece of that jigsaw. Something tangible. What I love about this is we talked about at the beginning, we're going to send out PDFs, and then we realize that it's just a document. It's just something online, a transfer of information. The beauty with this is me putting it in your hand, looking you in the eye and saying, listen, are you ready to make a change? Can you give me 30 days or can you give me 60 days? So something tangible is powerful for you guys personally, but also powerful when you're building the business. You will not believe how simple this follow-up system is, that you can go to your people, see where they're at, measure their energy, their mood, their gratitude, all the things listed, and see that increase. When you see that increase, then you have a right to a residual customer. The system is so simple that for those guys who are willing to undertake it, they'll see huge results. And the H3 helps you come the expectation of health. Well, what does that mean? I have people have a shot of mower and say, I don't feel any different because they have an expectation. I don't know what it is. Good health takes time and consistency. But what the H3 will give you is people will get results straight away. They'll change their energy. They'll feel more alive. The mood will change. So that, as well as the nutrition from the mower, will help you come that unnecessary expectation of health. Look, anyone can do it. It doesn't matter if someone's 30 stone, it can set them on the right path. It doesn't matter if someone's struggling financially. It doesn't matter if whatever area they're struggling in, H3 is for them because it's just going to set them off with some new little disciplines and getting them to focus on some things that can impact all areas of their life. And as we said there, anything that harnesses the power of accountability is going to hugely increase people's chances of being successful. And the reality of it is, where I sit right now, where Ben sits right now, where all you sit right now, we are a result of our current habits. So now we have a chance to change them. We have a chance to put ourselves on a new path. And personally, what the H3's done for me, I like to think that I looked after myself pretty well anyway, but it just helped me really focus. When I focus on some task in the morning, just a sequence, it kind of moves on to the next thing. I find my focus as I'm building my business as well. I find my focus in other areas of my life. My time management, I'm more productive. So that's what we're trying to do with this, just create some new habits that set you off on a path to others. And the opportunity for you to create a community, we're going to talk about this over the coming week or so. We wasn't going to do it at first. You guys are welcome to do your own groups, but we're going to create a community of H3 and that people can come and just see the power of this plan. They can be in the group. They can get inspired by people like Ben, or you guys have a lot to offer. The testimonials will be happening every single day, and people will realize, wow, I can have those results. I can feel happy. I can have more energy. I can have a spring in my step. I can do that just by embarking on this plan and a tiny little bit of commitment each day. Okay, things to consider. Hey, listen, this is not, hey, I've got a booklet. Would someone like to use the booklet? This is, you start using this. You start living it every single day. And when your energy goes up like mine and Ben's, when your energy goes up like some of the people who are using it already, then you'll just talk about it anyway. But we never build a business on like something that we don't do ourselves. We say in the game, a product to the product. The H3 is a product. You need to live it before you offer it. You need to sell the results of the plan, not the product. So, we've done that game before. Hey, superfood drink, and, you're competing with other people out there who say, well, my drink's better than yours. No, we're selling a lifestyle. We're selling results. We're selling happiness, energy, connectivity, all these other things, accountability. We're selling the plan, not the product. It's important to remember. Okay, so as you start talking about this, social media, use it wisely. We talked about some of the benefits of this, and the things that we listed are proven by science. They're not even open for debate. They're overwhelming evidence to support that. But just don't be going making these big claims on social media. Beware of your terminology. No need to overhype. Just talk about a plan coming, being able to raise health, energy, and happiness. You're looking for some people. Get people on the list. Get them in a VIP group. And then when you've got the plans, then you know that you've got your first customers for the H3. The one thing I will say with the H3, we've wrote on the back of it, I'm going to show you the document in a minute, an RRP price of £20. I mean, £20. I mean, the value in there, the content in there. Ben has spent endless amount of money on personal development. I have. We've poured all that out. We've cut through the nonsense and put the best things in that book. So all that people do, they can have that book for free. But all you have to do is get a bottle of mower. So your thing is that you add a bottle of mower to this because it's a part of the system, right? So for people, you can stack the value of this plan. It can increase the health, the happiness. They've got this accountability. They've got support, Facebook groups, all these things. And they'll say, how much is it? So you can have it for free. The only thing you have to do is take it seriously by getting yourself a bottle of mower. Or if you can get them as a residual customer straight away, get yourself a box of sachets on the mower. And then they're going to start living and breathing it, because they can get the booklet, but if they're not all in with it, they're not going to do it properly. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of your energy, and it's a waste of your money by giving them that booklet. And what's your story behind H3? We've got ours now, and that's fine. You can leverage ours until you create yours, but you need to create yours, and it's always a story that's authentic. It's not anything that's made up or overhyped. My story is this, in simple. In 5 years in the industry, I've spent 6 figures on personal development. I've surrounded myself with the best mentors on the planet. I've just researched. I've lived it. I've found out what works and what doesn't. And eventually I met this guy called Ben Fanning, and then what he was doing and what I was doing. And then all these things, some of the top mentors that are doing, like Tony Robbins and some of these other people, led us to this booklet. So my thing is that look how much investment in finances and energy has gone into that booklet. Hey, you can have it for free. Powerful story. You can leverage that if you haven't got your own yet. But ultimately, all you want to do is start using the H3. And then when your energy changes, when your health gets better, when you feel a bit happier, that's going to be your story. In the meantime, what you can do is tell people a relatable fact. So something that works for me is when people don't really understand it, I say something like this. When you go for a run and you sweat, that you feel better after it. Say that to someone and they're going to nod and go, yeah, yeah. Well, that's kind of a hack for happiness, because as Ben said at the beginning of his story, is that basically if you create that physical activity and then it has psychological benefits. Oh, everyone knows that to be true. That's not new news to anyone. But if you say to them, that's a hack of happiness, we've got another 7 that you can do each morning to set yourself up to win for the day. That's a relatable fact. Pretty cool, right? So just be careful how you market this to people. And like I said, you don't need to overhype it. Tell them a fact that they believe to be true, and get your plan, create your own H3 story. Okay, so Super Sunday, July the 15th. It's different. It's not a Saturday. It's a Sunday this time. And all we've done today is just brushed over it. Ben shared his story, which was powerful. We'll give you the background. We haven't got time to go into anything else. I'm going to show you the booklet in a sec. But what we was doing was setting it up for this, because on this day, Ben's just got back from San Diego. He's shown me some stuff. And because he said, James, can I be honest with you? Yeah. He goes, I've learned some stuff and I can see where there's holes in what you're doing. Now, a guy with ego will say, what do you mean there's holes in what I'm doing? I'm like, Ben, show me, bro. So the 90% of the things I was doing was working, but it was a little 10% what I'd missed out. And he'd drawn some stuff out from a marketing perspective. I was like, oh my God, I feel so silly. And then he's going to share that with you guys on Sunday, July the 15th, beyond other things as well. So it's a H3 masterclass. We're going to go there with our booklets. We're going to live it, breathe it. We're going to share stories. We're going to go into it. We're going to learn about each element in more detail. And then you're going to spend a couple of hours learning how to build a monster business with this booklet. H3 masterclass, like I said there, never seen before marketing strategies from Ben. So I appreciate that from you, Ben, sharing. I mean, let's call it straight. He's just spent thousands learning these strategies. He's come back home and he's going to give it to you guys for pennies. To be at that event, there doesn't have to be people who are active in the business. If you've got some people who are looking at it, if you've got some people who've gone a bit quiet in the business and they want to come and you think it's right up their street, bring them to the Super Sunday. But here's the thing. We're going to talk about the print element at the minute. You'll be able to get that within the next few days. But don't turn up to that Super Sunday having not used the H3 plan. So get it as soon as it's available in the next couple of days from the printers. Start using it, and then by the time July the 15th comes, you'll have the experience with it. You'll understand it in detail, and your energy will be rising because of it, and we'll have a better connection and a better conversation. And this is it. Those who know who's trying to sort the room for me, Tracy Fawcett, a couple of others as well. Emily helped me secure the room finally. The room is in Birmingham. There's 100 seats. That's it. That's all they've got. It's at the Village Hotel. I'm going to put the link in the School of Success after this. I promise you, it's 100 seats. That's not hype or just trying to get rid of the tickets. The tickets will go anyway. Just move straight away. You want to be in that room on that Sunday in July the 15th. It's going to be 10 to 2. It's in Birmingham. You know, we don't live in America. I know some people might have to drive a couple of hours. We don't live in America. We don't live in a country that's huge with all these big states. Anyone can pretty much get anywhere within 3 or 4 hours. So you just got to decide whether it's important enough. 100 people in that room learning some world-class marketing strategies, amongst other things. And the last thing with this, if this is just an example, if you want to, you know, if you want to reach out to some people. Now, you're not a robot, it's an example, so please personalize it, be authentic. That is more important than these scripts. But you could lead with something like this. Look, we're about to get our hands on a plan that uses proven life hacks that increase your energy, health, and happiness in 30 days. The real beauty of the plan is it's very simple to follow and can be achieved in quick time. The recommended retail price of the booklet is £20, but I'm giving my first 10 copies away for free. I only want people who are committed to improving their health, energy, and happiness. Let me know if you want to be one of the limited ones to get a free copy during pre-launch. So write whatever you want, but take the psychology of that. What you've got in there is you're showing the benefit straight away: energy, health, happiness in 30 days. The beauty of the plan is it's simple to follow. Everyone wants a simple solution. Scarcity, that you're giving only 10 copies away. The fact that the booklet's worth £20, but they can have it for free if they take action now. So there, just look at some of the triggers in there within that sentence. You might want to structure your own, but take the psychology away from that. And if you do get the money objection, then just ask them. If someone says to me, if I offer them that booklet, but they've got to get a bottle of mower, and they say, oh, so I have to pay for the mower, I'm just going to say, okay, can I just confirm to you that you think £30 is an expensive investment to improve your health, energy, and happiness? And if they nod, I'll say, listen, I'll take responsibility. I mustn't have explained it well. I just want to confirm that you understand the value that you'd be getting. A booklet that is worth way more than £20, but it just retails at £20. An award-winning superfood drink, access to the hacks that are proven to increase your health, happiness, energy, whatever you want to put there, an accountability system, an online community with lots of added value, online support groups, and anything else you want to add. Once you say that again, and just say, confirm to me that you think £30 for all that is too much. If they say, yeah, say that's no problem, then let's not waste each other's time, because this is a conversation that doesn't need to happen no more. You're not here. This is Ben's analogy as well. I don't want to steal it in case he was just going to use it, but it's a powerful one. That you're not here to be a tugboat. You're a lighthouse. You're not here to try and drag people into H3 and convince them. You're just showing them what we've got. You know, if they have an objection of finances, that, hey, you know, I don't want to invest in a bottle of mower to be part of this plan, then, hey, they're not ready. They don't want change in their life. They're happy enough where they are, or maybe they're telling themselves a story that they're happy enough where they are. So that's how to deal with a money objection. Okay, what to do now before I'm going to hand over to Ben, and then I'm going to show you the document. Order the new H3 booklet, best as a team. So we've got some prices today. We're just negotiating again tomorrow. It took a little bit longer than we expected, but it's for your benefit. Trust me, if you go to a printers and say, hey, this booklet, it's in colour, it's beautiful, whatever it is, 60 pages, print, they're going to pull your pants down. So we've negotiated some deals. So allow us to do our thing. It'll be within the next 48 hours. I'll give you the details. You'll be able to ring up a printers, and we'd have already negotiated the best price. Maybe it's about £1 or so a booklet for a top quality booklet, and then you can order some for you and your team. That means you'll have your booklet on your way. Watch the 1262 video by Chris Travis. Very important to understand that. These two are interlinked. 1262 and H3 are going to build a business for those people who take it seriously. Work on your list and start connecting. I mentioned it before, how to reach out to people, the sort of people who might benefit from this plan. Start having conversations, creating curiosity. Social media, start collecting data. Start dropping little things out there. Look, I can put you on my VIP list, on my pre-launch list, whatever you want to do, but start building that list up. And right now, the first thing you want to do, if you get off this call, do not procrastinate. Book a Super Sunday ticket right now, because once they go, they are gone. That is pretty much it with that. Ben, do you just want to share your final thoughts before I quickly show these guys the actual H3?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for everyone coming. Truly grateful and truly humble to even be on this set with you, mate. But just to make sure you guys understand the power of this. If that story didn't inspire you or relate to you in any way, this will definitely not work. But I didn't share my story today to impress upon anybody, but it's to impress on you that I've been to the darkest dungeon and found a way out. And you can do that too. You're already doing it. We're fighting the fight. That's why we're doing this talk. That's why we're being inspired. That's why we're creating knowledge. But nothing will get better unless the king or the queen eats first, the kingdom will fall. So this is not a chore. This ain't just some concepts. This is an investment into yourself. So you put your armor on every day before you walk up out of that kingdom and slay what you need to slay to get what you need to bring home.
Powerful stuff, bro. Thank you. Okay, for you guys, let me just show you this booklet just so you'll know what it feels like. This is an older version, actually. That's there's been some amendments since then, but this just is easy just to show you because so it'll look like that. Can you see that, Ben? Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. So there's an opening page. Oh, I didn't even know it was going to be like this. Okay. There's like talks about the water, the hydration. I mean, look at that. Clean images, top tips. So it's really informative for them. Light up, why they should light up. Great for you guys. Movement.
Very simple methods.
Mother of all, gratitude, shows you the science. So when they're getting this booklet, it's going to be A5. You can see each page there. They're going to see the benefits of all this. Execution, evening reflection, why they do that. Then some other little benefits, the power of audios, feeding the mind, how to write goals, some other bonus hacks, some good questions, because it's like a little journal that they fill out. Hey, and then look at this powerful stuff, start day, overall mood. When they get the booklet, I don't know, maybe a 2 or a 3, gratitude if they're not doing it yet, if they're not hydrated, if they're not getting in sunlight. So they have a total score. This is day 1, right? So say the score is, I don't know, making it up 20. Then they do this every day. Day 1, today I'm grateful for 3 things. This is how I'll make today great. Forcing your mind to focus on the positive. Task out complete. Remember what happens when you complete your task. When you do what you said you was going to do, it has a positive impact on the brain. Reflection, good things about today. What I hope for tomorrow, and some maybe little notes. Day 1, day 2. So you just create this habit, literally just a couple of minutes in the morning, every single day. Guess what happens? Bottle of Moa lasts them till day 14. Day 15 comes, they have a check on the score. They write the levels. The gratitude's going to be up, the movement, all the things, their overall mood, their energy. Now you go back and say, hey, how are you getting on? Well, my score's an extra 30. Okay, sounds like you're ready to become a residual customer or a preferred customer. Boom, that's how you get someone. They fell in love with the plan, they're getting results, they see the benefits of the product, now they're on that. They continue to do this because they say a habit takes 21 days. That's just the start of it, really. This is a 60-day plan, and that's a challenge to you guys to do this for 60 days, all the way to the end. Can you do it? Can you commit to something? Can you just carve out 20 minutes a day for yourself? And if you do that for 60 days, I promise you, it will revolutionize your life and change everything forever. Remember, every discipline leads to the next. Day 60, your overall mood, your gratitude, all them things, your total score, I guarantee will be higher. Then for those guys, look at this for a little tick list. Are you ready? Every single day they do it. They just go to the back of the book. They tick, I've hydrated. I've got in the sunlight. I've moved. I've had my more. I've done my gratitude. There's my execution and reflection. So you, as a mentor, you can say, show me your tick list. Have you been doing it? No, I haven't been doing it. Well, there you go. That's why you've not been getting the results. So that's pretty powerful stuff, I think. Hopefully you guys, I think that's it. We're back. We've overrun a little bit, but do you know what? I don't think we've always paid too much attention to the rules, right, Ben?
Hell no.
So
that's a game. We're about to break the rules. We're going right against systematic sedation and the status quo. And we're going to carve a life out that we all truly want and desire. And it all starts with you.
Always starts with, and that's the biggest thing I realize. We're building a business, all these things externally looking for happiness. Oh, you know what, I'll buy this, I'll do that. Oh, why do I still feel flat? Why do I feel empty? Because ultimately is that you're self-loathing, that basically you're not creating things that set yourself up to win for the day. I promise you, before the world rains down on me, because it does for all of us, before my doors open in the morning, before social media, before I get exposed to the drama and nonsense on there, I'm set up to win. I honestly feel like, and by the way, this DMO, when some of the books I've read, these are what elite level athletes are doing. This is what Tony Robbins at 58 years old still has the energy to do 16-hour days at seminars. Success leaves clues. So we're excited for you guys. You can see with me and Ben, we're energized. This is it. We're all in. And for you guys, we hope the same for you. And not even from a business perspective, from a life perspective. So you can get the benefits of this. And once you do that, you will not stop talking about it. You'll go forth from this day forward. You'll be handing out H3 booklets and be impacting people, their energy, their mood, their health. So just to reaffirm now, take action. I'm going to put the link in the School of Success for the Super Sunday limited tickets. Book on that because it's going to be a masterclass on how to market this stuff. And then within the next 48 hours, specific details on how you can order your H3 booklet. I hope you guys got value. Ben, brother, Thank you from the bottom of my heart for pouring it all out, for sharing the value, for being brutally honest and being vulnerable. And for a guy, that's not easy. For everyone else, thank you for taking the time to be on the call. Stay tuned. And this is the start of a beautiful new journey. H Street. Peace.